Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, CRT, critical race theory. Critical race theory is a framework that is normally used inside legal schools in order to teach their students how race relations, both structural and societal, work and how it affects the laws that govern the United States. Some people think that it doesn't go far enough. Some people believe that critical race theory should be taught to younger students, as young as preschool, believe it or not. Why? They believe that when you teach these children from a younger age about how race works, they believe that it will have a positive effect on how these children can have a better understanding on race relations as they grow older. Now, is this right or is it wrong? Now, of course, pushing this onto younger children has its detractors, many of whom tend to be those people who are right-leaning. Are these people correct though? Is there some sort of agenda to push these problems that we have as adults onto our young? And is it going to be a positive or a negative towards them? Is CRT some sort of grand scam, some sort of scheme that is there to help agitate the situation further? I want to try and speak about and give my own opinion on CRT today. First, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description. I'd also like to invite you to please follow the Oversight channel, the channel that is there to help you to invest on the African continent both safely and securely. Link also in the description. So where do we start? Critical race theory is beneficial to those people in law because there were laws in the United States not actually that long ago. And in fact, there are some laws that still exist today, and they are the same laws. And they are the same laws, only they have changed names. So the problem is that there are laws out there which are based on race, but they're just called something different. Now, this is the reason why it's so critical for those people who work in law in order to know about critical race theory and about how it affects society today. But I have a question. Is it actually going to be beneficial for young people to know this? I can understand that teaching young people, and I'm talking about from the age of 5, 6, 7 years old, about critical race theory and about how the world works, especially their society in the United States, how that works specifically, how it can be of benefit. But I also believe that it can have a negative effect. I think that the types of people, you do have racists in the United States who do believe that they are superior, and they could weaponize CRT. They could easily show their children, yeah, this is just the way the world works. We are better than everybody else, as you can see. Look at what CRT teaches you. Look at all the things that we have done. Look at all the places where we have been. Look at where we are now. The privileges that you have, it's all because of what we have done as American Europeans, or I don't know, fill in the blanks. It can be anyone that believes or thinks in that way. So this is the reason why I think it's difficult with CRT. I don't believe that it will have a positive impact overall. Another thing you need to ask yourself is it important for us to have our children be taught CRT in schools? Why would you give such a massive responsibility to people who you don't know? I know I wouldn't. I would always teach my children at home. They will get a better understanding if I show them at home and also live a life vicariously through the lens of someone of my kin, of my color, of my race. Much better to do things that way and to show our children how we interact with other people and how other people interact with us. I think that is a much better way than to give it to an American European person who may not understand the nuances of that particular race. All they would have known is what they've been taught in university, and I don't think that is good enough. You will also have some teachers in school that have problems with race relations themselves. Some of them may even be racist themselves, and they have fallen through the cracks. There they are teaching your kids in school. Now what are you going to do? You're going to give that power to them? I just would not trust somebody else to give my child that type of information. Another thing is teaching our children as opposed to teaching American Europeans or teaching American Chinese. Could you have one syllabus that covers all races? I don't think you can. And I think it's important to highlight this. I think that there were laws that governed American Japanese, wasn't there, in the past in the United States? There were laws that governed where they live and where they could do business. In fact, at one point, they stuck them into concentration camps in the United States. There were also laws that pertained to African diasporans, African Americans. There were lots of laws that pertained to them. So is it even possible to have one syllabus, one curriculum that covers all CRT? No, I don't think you can do that. And the last thing I want to talk about also is, why are you going to push this onto American European children for? For what reason? It's not affecting them in a negative way, okay? It does affect some of them in a negative way, but it's few and far between. For the vast majority of European Americans, they live positive lives because of the color of their skin. So they don't have any negative or ill effects from the relations that they have with other people of other races. For them, it's fine because they are not the minority in the United States in terms of their ethnicity. I don't believe white is a race. I see it as an ethnicity because there are a group of people who call themselves white in the United States of America. So I see them as an ethnicity, but of course these people see themselves as a race. Okay, so we'll say that the white race. And why are we pushing this onto them? Why should it matter? Why should it matter about what they think? Why does it matter about, whether they learn it or not? I don't think it should matter. And I don't think you should make it matter. And I don't think any other race is pushing this. Okay, I don't see Koreans saying, hey, I want you to teach, or Chinese, but let's say, I want you to teach about our history and about where we came from and about, what you did to us. They don't need you to learn that. They don't care if you know about it or not. That's the thing. They don't care about whether or not other races, other ethnicities, they don't care if they learn about it or not. What is important is that the Chinese know about it. That's the way they see it. It's important that their people know about it because their people are the most important people in their own minds. Of course. So they are going to concentrate their efforts on their children, on their people. Whatever you want to teach Bradley or Chad, you can teach them whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It just makes absolutely no difference to them. And I think that many African Americans, many people of African descent should follow the same thing. I don't think we should concentrate on other people and on other races and on what other ethnicities are planning or doing or whatever they are doing. I think you should focus on yourselves. I don't think that teaching CRT in schools to young children is important. I think if you generally teach kids how to be respectful to one another and to focus on that instead of focusing on teaching kids about what their forefathers did, I think that is more relevant. I think that is more important than teaching kids about that type of history and about the problems and the mistakes that you made as Americans. I don't think it's right. I think it's irresponsible to put that load onto them. Leave them be. You shouldn't need to put it onto the younger generation who are probably going to grow up in a better situation than any of you guys did. I think it's genuinely racist, really, in a way, because once again, you are putting the onus on American Europeans to change. And I think that by doing that, you're putting yourselves in a terrible situation because they may not ever change. If you pour your energy, you pour your time, you pour your resources, you pour your money into changing these curriculums to change people that cannot be changed, then what are you going to do? Once again, it is their children that are being put at the forefront. Their children, white middle class, American, European children that are being put at the forefront. It's important what you know, because what you do in society matters. You're literally doing the opposite thing. You're teaching them that it's up to you. You can change, or you don't have to change, or you can just learn. You know, things are always good for you. It doesn't matter. You're giving them a choice. Whereas if you teach your own children, if you focus on your own kin, then you don't have to worry about other people. You don't have to worry about how society views you. You need to worry about how your people view you. And that's it. Until the next time, please think twice. Ta-ra a bit.